when you are, on a ship in the middle of a massive storm and the engine completely dies, you drop the heaviest anchor you have. You just want to grab onto the solid ocean floor to stop from being swept away.
Yeah, you need something permanent to survive all that turbulence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if that anchor is made out of paper?
Yeah, well, that's not going to hold.
No, it is not. Today, we are looking at what happens when desperate governments try to print money backed by, well, dirt. We have a really fascinating historical analysis comparing 1790s France and 1940s China.
And our mission here is to figure out why pegging a failing currency to real estate is this recurring and totally disastrous financial illusion. And just a quick reminder, we are strictly analyzing the historical sources here. We are not taking sides or endorsing any of the politics from these eras.
Right. Impartial analysis only.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this because the extreme desperation both these nations faced is, it's just staggering.
It really is. To understand these policies, we have to first look at the total vacuum of traditional credit that birthed them.
The empty vaults.
Yeah, exactly. The empty vaults. When paper money systems die, states panic. They pivot away from paper promises and just run toward the most tangible wealth available.
Which is physical land.
Exactly. It's a massive flight to territory.
So France is sitting there in 1796 with zero metallic cash, no gold, no silver.
Nothing.
They panic. But they do have one thing, which is massive amounts of land they just confiscated from the Catholic Church and the French crown.
Right.
So they try to turn that dirt into liquidity by issuing a new paper currency. It was called the Mandat Territorial, and it was backed by that land.
And then decades later, the Republic of China faced a parallel crisis in the 1940s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they created land bonds with the goal of buying private land and selling it to self-cultivating farmers. They were aiming for a peaceful social engineering project based on Sun Yat-sen's principles of equalizing land ownership.
Okay.
And, well, what's fascinating here is how both regimes used land to try and avoid violent class struggles.
Right, they wanted a peaceful transition.
Exactly. They hoped that the absolute permanence of a physical territory would anchor their incredibly volatile economies.
It's like trying to pay your grocery bill by handing the cashier a deed to a single square foot of your backyard.
That is a perfect analogy. The actual math of trading liquid paper for static land doomed the experiment in both countries.
The math just didn't add up.
Not at all. In France, the government fixed its land purchase price at exactly 22 times the rental value of the land back in 1790.
Wait, 1790? That makes absolutely no sense because by 1796, hyperinflation had already destroyed their currency.
Exactly.
So by pricing land based on its value from 6 years earlier, before the inflation hit, the government was essentially selling off prime real estate for pennies on the dollar to anyone holding these new notes.
Yep, it was a total fire sale. And the execution in China was equally flawed. The government issued complex bonds paying a 6% annual interest rate.
Wait, hold on. A 6% annual interest rate on those bonds?
Yep.
But they were in the middle of a war and massive hyperinflation. So if I'm a farmer in 1940s China, I'm stuck holding a bond paying 6% a year while my cost of living is jumping way higher than that every single month.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm actively losing money just by participating in this system.
You were losing a catastrophic amount of money. Market rates in China were hitting 3.6% monthly.
Wow. Monthly.
Yeah, so a 6% annual return was a massive liability. You just cannot compress a static, illiquid asset like a farm, something that takes months to appraise and sell into a high-velocity liquid medium like cash.
Because people need to spend instantly just to buy daily bread during a crisis.
Exactly.
No wonder trust vanished. The system was mathematically rigged against the people holding the paper.
And we saw exactly how fast that trust vanished in France. Within one single month, the Mandat lost 80% of its value.
80% in a month.
Yeah. Wealthy speculators who hoarded actual metal coins bought up the crashed Mandats for practically nothing.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Right, and then they used them to scoop up state land. The poor were completely left behind, which was the exact opposite of the peaceful wealth redistribution the government wanted.
We see the exact same thing in China's Longyin County. Local officials actually had to increase bond payouts tenfold just to keep their land reform moving.
Tenfold.
Yeah, but inflation still rendered the bonds totally worthless. It resulted in this disguised confiscation of landlord wealth.
Right.
The state basically bought their land with paper that just dissolved in their hands.
Yeah, dissolved is the right word. If we connect this to the bigger picture, both of these failures entirely destroyed state legitimacy.
Completely. So what does this all mean for you listening?
Yeah.
It really reminds us that financial trust is entirely psychological. A government can mandate a paper currency.
They can force you to use it through bundled coercion.
Right, but they cannot mandate belief.
No, you cannot force the illusion of stability just by pointing at a map.
You really can't. Which leads us with a pretty provocative question.
I'm listening.
If static, permanent land, like actual dirt you can stand on, cannot save a volatile fiat currency during a crisis, what happens when modern economies attempt to back their money with entirely invisible digital assets?
That is a scary thought.
Next time the economic engine dies, we might just find ourselves throwing down an anchor made of nothing but code.